And I'll explain that again. I apologize for springing on you. I thought we were just talking about the.
It just came out from NDOT.
As long as Mr. Fetty's got a number and it's all legit.
Yeah, I just got.
I'm not an 11th hour person, but I can do it for this.
Thank you.
What are you doing back there, Dale?
I'm sick. I don't want to get anybody sick.
See, I thought I used deodorant.
All right, before we start tonight, I'd like to read the following statement regarding Title VI. As a recipient of federal funds and in support of Lawrenceburg's efforts to ensure non-discrimination and equal access to all citizens, the city gathers statistical data regarding participants in city activities. Therefore, we have provided a voluntary Title VI public involvement survey at this meeting. You are not required to complete this survey. However, the form is anonymous and will be used solely for the purpose of monitoring our compliance with Title VI and ADA. That is located in the back corner of the room. Thank you. At this time, I would like to call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Board of Works for November the 15th, 2021, with a roll call, Mr. Fetty.
Sure. Board Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Board Member Tommy Roulette.
Present.
City Attorney Dale Weldon.
Here.
President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, guys, I don't have any announcements for this particular meeting, unless you do.
I have none.
Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business, Miss Jenny Felix.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of myself and the rest of the hiring committee for the labor apprentice position, I'm here tonight to request the board's approval for the hire of 3 of the candidates. And those candidates are Lawrence Tony Satchwell, Yancey Gray, and Chad Haggart.
And I believe that one of them will not be starting until January 3rd or 4th,
January.
whatever that Monday is.
Correct. Two of them are scheduled to start December 1st, which is Tony Satchwell and Yancey Gray, and then Chad is scheduled to start at the 1st of January, actually January 3rd.
Okay. All right. Questions, guys?
I really don't have any questions, but I think we need a little bit of clarification. I know you said at the last, excuse me, meaning that we were going to go for 3
Yep.
because of a retiree.
Yes.
And I realize that retiree is a different department, and we had a conversation about it along with Mrs. Felix here.
Yes.
So we went ahead with 3, and I feel good going with 3, not because of that individual retiring, but knowing how many we are short in the civil city.
Good point. Go ahead. I'll
And, you know, and Mrs. Felix can say this is what I had even brought up. I even talked about maybe holding off on the 3rd till after the 1st year. But once I talked to Mr. Massey and seen where we were as far as how we lost 2 to the Parks Department, 1 in the building maintenance. We didn't replace 1 that retired in 2020 and the recent termination of another.
Yes.
So that's where I felt good about going with the 3. Not so much that we had a person retire, because again, that person's a different department. And I figured what we would do is when that comes about, once that person's finished, because they put in for retirement, but they're not done till, I believe, the end of the month, then we can move forward with that position. Am I correct with that saying?
Well, I think yes and no, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are down people, and we purposely did not backfill people as they left a year ago or so, because we felt like we had the right amount of people in the garage. Obviously, we had a couple of circumstances happen here recently, a termination, and then we were also going to hire 1 other one. And then we did have a gentleman that is retiring as of December 1st. Now, yeah, we do need explanation on that, because I don't want any confusion either. The person that retires December 1st, then his job will be posted internally per the CBA, right? And then you have the domino effect. And then eventually what it is it leaves another empty labor position. in Civil City. So that was the reason for the hiring of the 3.
Just
But
to be ahead of the game is what you're
To
saying.
be ahead of it, yes, absolutely. I mean, if we see that we need to hire another person after the first of the year or something, obviously, that's something we can discuss. But I'd say that we see how the 3 do, and then if we see we need another, then so be it. But that was the reasoning, but I did not explain very well that the retiree, yes, is in a different department, but through the CBA bid process, that will be posted come December 1st.
Right.
And then that has to all be done internally. So, yes, you're exactly right, Tom.
Well, I agree and disagree. I
Okay.
mean, I know we need the workers. We need more than the 3 we're hiring, and I don't care who we hire. But I think we should have advertised for the 3rd person,
Okay.
and that's my only problem with it. I mean,
That's
that's
fair.
the only problem with it.
That's fair. The reason that we, and I'll just explain, if you remember the last meeting when we asked permission to hire 3, we had not interviewed the final 5 candidates. And by the way, I'm not on the hiring committee. Jenny heads that up. But we had not, they had not interviewed the top 5 candidates. So that is when I asked for a 3rd to be hired, because knowing the retirement was coming. But that part, Tommy, you're probably right. We maybe jumped the gun a little bit. But either way, we were short people.
Right.
We are short.
The way you explained it, I get that. And Tony, but I understand what you're saying. I just don't know that we're agreeing on that wholly.
Okay.
I do understand what you're saying. So, but tonight, and we'll see how it goes, but Jenny is asking for the approval, because I believe the 3 gentlemen were told that, I mean, we tell it to everybody that's successful, that they are not an employee until they're approved by the Board of Work.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's what she's asking for tonight, is approval for the 3 individuals that she just listed.
Are we gonna vote on these individually, or?
We can. We normally don't, but we can. It's up to you guys.
I'm good with doing them all 3 at once, really, but I mean, if you want to do them individually,
I would say doing all 3 at once.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve Jenny's recommendation to hire all 3 individuals. 2 will be starting December 1st, and 1 will be starting January, whatever that Monday is, or that we're back, 3rd or 4th, I believe.
can I add to that, the
Absolutely.
committee?
I'm sorry.
Not just Jenny, but the committee.
Oh, the committee, I'm sorry.
No, she did a good job as
Yeah.
well, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Jenny is recommendation, representing the
Yeah.
hiring committee. How's that?
There you go.
There
I'm
you go.
sorry, that's a good point, Tony. The hiring committee is recommending that these 3 individuals be employed by the city of Lawrenceburg. Can I get a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
A second. I believe I can make the second.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
I'll make a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Tony Abbott,
Nay.
Board Member Tommy Roulette,
Yes.
President Kelly Malone,
Yes.
2-1.
It will, the motion will pass 2-1. And Tony, I respect your reason.
Well, I'd like to say one thing. It's great to work with people, whether you disagree. There's no bad feelings about anything.
Not at all.
We work together, and that's a good thing no matter what. Whether you agree or you don't agree, it's still a great thing to work together.
Yeah. Everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Yep.
So, okay, thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Jenny, and tell the committee thank you. I have no other new business, guys, or old business for this meeting. Anything you guys have to share?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Your Honor,
Yes.
do we want to address the proposed resolution or not? I was gonna pull it up on the screen.
Well, we can,
Is that a common council or Board of Works?
This is Board of Works.
this would be,
It would be a Board of Works resolution?
Yeah, it's Board of Works.
Okay,
Let me just,
Clarification.
I'll pull it up on the screen, but I'll read you the email
Oh, it
that
says
I
it right
got
there, I see it.
today. Regarding.
Read that paper copy.
why don't you do this? Don't worry about pulling it up on the screen, but why don't you, we got copies here if people, if somebody wants to see it.
Yeah.
This came directly from NDOT, correct? Is that right?
Well, it came from, the NDOT, Kathy Eaton McCallum, the statewide director for LPA programs. I've got just the email and it said, briefly, it says, Judy, congratulations, your community has been selected to receive a community crossings grant for 21-22 golf projects. Attached, you find congratulations letter, 3 other attachments. NDOT is making the transition to DocuSign. Before your program director can request the NDOT LPA contract for your project, you'll need to know who will be signing the grant agreement. Please read the following information attached. Complete the attached signing authority information returned to us as soon as possible. You may document the passing of a resolution. It says LPA can just pass a resolution or document meeting minutes for one position to sign the NDOT LPA contracts, or pass. So it's they're saying we need to pass a resolution to authorize one person to sign these contracts, but still,
You're
he's
right.
only signing them electronically.
Should be Board of Works.
The electronic DocuSign where they're not
Should be Board of Works.
processing physical contracts. This resolution just is the Board of Works authorizing the mayor to sign those, not authorizing him to do anything that hasn't already been approved by council or the Board of Works. Just a technical element. And the reason I drafted it real quick and brought it tonight was just because NDOT asked for it back quickly. Since we happen to have a meeting tonight, I thought it would be appropriate to bring it up. I know you guys like to see things way in advance, so I do apologize for that. This board always takes a lot of time on their packets and their material, so I always apologize when I bring something up. But because this came directly from NDOT, I copied a resolution from NDOT. They asked for it ASAP. That's the only reason I'm bringing it before you guys today.
The only question I have, if you look down where it says now therefore it be resolved, it says by the common council for the city of Lawrenceburg.
Okay, then I would just change that to Board of Works.
Okay,
Yeah, because up two sentences above it says whereas.
right, it does say,
Yeah.
whereas the Board of
Yeah.
Works.
Yeah, that's a typographical error that I made, and I apologize. I'll fix it.
Okay, so if you guys don't mind, I'd like to read through this real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Any
Publicly.
extra copies down there?
Absolutely.
I have no clue
Right
what's
here.
going on.
I may want to use Betty for it. That's a nice paper.
What resolution would this be, Mr. Fetty?
This would be Resolution 10, if it
10?
passes.
All right.
Been busy this year with resolutions as well.
All right, resolution number 10-2021, City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana, resolution authorizing execution of documents, whereas Indiana Code 36-1-3 permits any unit in the state of Indiana to exercise any power or to perform any function necessary to the public interest in the context of its governmental or internal affairs, which is not prohibited by the Constitution of the United States or of the state of Indiana, or denied or preempted by any other law, or is not expressly granted by any other law to another governmental entity. And whereas the Board of Public Works and Safety for the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana is by law authorized to adopt ordinances and resolutions for the administration of the city's affairs, whereas the state of Indiana has requested specific written authority for the execution of state agreements when all members of the executive body do not sign. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety for the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, as follows, that the mayor of the City of Lawrenceburg is hereby authorized and confirmed to have the binding authority to execute any state agreements and all other documents related thereto for and on behalf of the City of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. This resolution is effective immediately upon its date of adoption, all of which is resolved by the Board of Public Works and Safety for the City of Lawrenceburg, Dearborn County, Indiana, on this 15th day of November 2021. Any additional questions?
And then,
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve resolution number 10-2021.
So moved.
Second?
second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Del.
Thank you guys.
All right,
I forwarded you that email too, so you have that email, the three of you all have it in your file.
okay, thank you. Any old business, guys?
I'm not Mayor.
I have none.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So move.
Second,
Second?
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn this particular meeting.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Everybody's seated. Thanks, Jenny. I'd like to call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Parks and Recreation Committee for November the 15th, 2021, with a roll call. Mr. Fetty?
Yeah, we've got Board Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
We got Board Member Justin Oppert.
Sir.
Board Member Tommy Roulette.
Present.
Board Member Lenny Fryman.
Here?
Board Member Brett Mondurant.
Yes, sir.
City Attorney Dale Weldon.
Here.
President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, the two, go ahead. I have no announcements for this particular meeting.
I'd just like to say one thing. I've had a few of them say that they're not able to hear us when they watch us on YouTube unless the ones don't speak into the microphone. And some of the members in the audience, when they
Okay.
answer instead of coming up to it, and they said, they'd like for us to speak into the microphone.
Absolutely, we can do that.
Did they have a problem with me?
Well, look, it's all the way up here and you're all the way back here.
I just making sure I didn't
I'm
talk
just-
too loud.
Nope.
Hey,
Okay.
they probably,
So if everybody would just kind of speak into their microphone, like you were laying back just then.
No, I mean, that's,
Yeah, you were back.
pointed up. No, that's good. Good point.
I'm
That-
glad
that's-
somebody brought it up.
I've actually
Thanks.
watched,
I've struggled to
meetings
hear
as well.
some as well,
And
so, good point.
especially if do not get to the podium.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Just soft-spoken.
Testing,
That it?
testing, 1, 2.
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, thanks, Tony, for bringing that up. Any other announcements for this particular meeting? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second? Second, Lenny?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business. Mr. Todd is out of town. I would like to table the Arch Street Park additional synthetic turf, because I believe he's getting another quote for us on another type of turf for over there, just to compare pricing, and I think he was also getting a price on sod.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I don't think we're gonna be in a big hurry for it, are we, anyway?
I'm sorry?
I said, I don't think we're gonna be in a big hurry for it anyway. It won't be done till spring.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know, if maybe before the freeze, if it's, I don't think the roots are gonna take with sod, it'd probably die if you planted it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't get any root structure in, but, when I was over there looking at, because we're gonna plant a couple trees in that area, and I'd been to a couple different parks, I wonder if there may be another option that we should consider, some type of, pavers, even the brick, red pavers, or some type of a structure that you would still have the people walking around, you wouldn't have to deal with the mud, we just have something more aesthetic, and there's gonna be the 2 trees there with rings around the trees, but, I don't know, just something other than more concrete or more turf, just something to throw some little more aesthetics into the area.
We can get pricing for something
I
like
just
that,
was-
some decorative type.
Just
That's-
throwing it out there.
That's really not a bad idea, because watching the kids at the park, they really don't play in that area right there.
Right. So you wouldn't have to worry about it trampling the grass, and I mean, it probably, with the price of that turf, probably wouldn't be a whole lot different in the price. But I mean, I just think just the aesthetics of it would be a lot more pleasing to have some contrasting
Okay.
finishes on the ground.
I'll have him work on that for us.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Anything else?
I have a comment regarding the ice rink. I received a call from a Greendale resident in regards to pricing, and I think you had set up some new pricing this year for things. And I believe currently, and correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, is it's the 1 hour is $8, and then you can go up to 2 hours for 13 and over, and $6 for 12 and under. Does that sound right? So, just if you have a 13-year-old, from Greendale, and this is the particular one, they have teenagers, and they came over, I guess, 2 times this weekend. And he's like, $16 each time for each kid, and they had a 13.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
best thing for you to do is get a family pass,
They should, yeah, family or season.
which are
yeah.
fairly cheap.
It's 75, and what's the family pass? Family single for 35 for a single, 75 for a family. I think it is. So that's that's pretty good. Yeah, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good. But I'm just wondering for the single entry times, if and I was looking around at like I found 3 of the local ones around Northern Kentucky has an ice center. They're $8 for unlimited time and $3 with skate rental. So that's 11 total. Under 10 is only 10. Fountain Square downtown Cincinnati is $10 for 90 minutes, and that's with skates. And then Summit Park and Blue Ash is $7 with skates for 2 or 3 hour.
Yeah, they're not throwing people out. Should I step up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Given the previous comment, and I am a soft speaker. D is allowing kids to skate 60 minutes if they're choosing to, and then just letting them take a break. Really, that 1 hour is just for our peak time that we're going to utilize and be more strict during Christmas hours. So kids, no one's being told to leave at 1 hour if the rink is not full.
All right, right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Go over the pricing again, though, so people,
Are you looking at it online? So it's $6.
I got
Yeah.
actual online, yeah.
Well, yeah. Yep. Good.
Do you want to go ahead?
Nah.
I don't have it memorized.
Yeah. So it's $6 for 12 and under,
Okay.
and then that's for first hour. You can get up to 2 hours. It's $8 for 13 plus up to 2 hours, but that's $8 and $8. That's per hour. $8 for the first hour and $8 for the second hour.
okay, so it's not $6 for the first hour, and if you want an extra hour, it's or,
No, it's another $6 for 12 and under.
I
Okay,
thought it was
gotcha.
$8 for up to 2 hours.
It's $8 per hour.
So
Go ahead.
so it's advertised as $8 an hour, but when you get there, if the kids want to skate longer, then, and the rink is not full or at capacity with the line, then they're allowed to stay for 2. If they skate for 2 hours, she's just asking them to take a little bit of a break, and then they can come on back. So we do have kids that want to spend all day at the rink, and they're easily allowed to do that in 2-hour increments. We did advertise it with 1 hour to help us accommodate the holiday peak times.
I think what happened is they came in and said, hey, we want to skate for 2 hours. They were charged $16. And then
Okay, and that, maybe they were there on Saturday, and it was
Yeah.
our busy first day of training everybody, and we're
So-
happy to make it clear. But are you saying you think it needs to be less money?
I was
for a
just thinking
longer
maybe,
skate period of
maybe
time?
for the, I mean, we're, if that were the case, that would put us way higher than any of the other rinks around us. And we're not, yeah, we know that, what do we spend on this ice rink, Mayor, every year?
120,000.
Is that, or
100
more?
120
Yeah,
plus.
so we know that this is a public service and this is not.
It is.
And we're
Yeah.
giving our residents free fare, but, the same, our residents and our kids are going to school with their friends, 3 minutes away and, that would have to pay $16 for 2 hours to hang out. So
So it's not as much the price as it is the duration.
I think the price, if someone came in and paid for 2 hours,
That's-
Well, but if
16.
they,
That's where I go back to buy a family pass. My own niece
Yeah.
moved from Lawrenceburg to Greendale. She said, I got to pay to go ice skating. Yes, you do. You moved to Greendale. Well, how much is it? Well, family pass is 75 or 50. Well, that's not bad. I mean, she's got 3 kids.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So-
I think we should push the family pass, but I wonder if and my thought was, what's a good compromise is if they want to pay for 2 hours up front, that we say we give them the first hour for $8, we give them the second for $4. So it's $12 instead of, just to bring us a little bit more competitive with, if they're just doing a single day and not doing a family pass.
got
So-
it. Yeah, I'm happy to say, to move it to 90 minutes or 2 hours, whatever. I'll talk to Dee. 90 minutes might be sort of funky for her timing wise, but if you want to just do $8 for 2 hours, and people might feel that's,
I think that's a very fair price. I mean,
that's in
I just
reality,
wanted to-
it's in reality what we're doing. And then
Yeah.
that first day,
Yeah.
probably, we had to train a lot of people, but I'm happy to change it to 2 hours if everyone feels like that's going to make, I want everyone to feel happy, and that's the reality of what we're doing.
I'm looking at the clerk treasurer. He handles all of our money.
That's fine. $8, 2 hours, no problem.
I don't
Put
think
him on the spot here.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think the 2 hour increments could pose a problem on the very high traffic times.
Yes, they could, I think.
And that's where I think maybe putting that might be difficult, because then you have all these people waiting.
Yeah, and we haven't really bumped up against a
It,
line.
it sounds,
That- that
it
was
sounds
the
like, Justin, I think, and if unless I misunderstood you, Michelle, Saturday was our first opening day.
Yeah.
So I think maybe there might have been a mistake, because it sounds like you're only really charging for 1 hour. If they want to stay
Longer.
longer, and if it's not busy, they can
Right
stay
ahead.
longer.
And then
Now,
they get called in the second hour, so that them getting billed right up front, we would stop that, or we can just lengthen it.
And the 2-hour thing is to keep them moving, so
Right.
there's not a whole bunch of people waiting.
Right, no, right,
Some
agreed,
of them
agreed,
stay there all day long.
right.
Yeah.
So you get to revolve people through, I
Right.
understand that, and that's what I'm saying, is doing 2 hour a mistake, because if there's a line through
Well,
that,
We're fairly agile.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
we can change these things as it goes, but we haven't had a problem with lines yet. A lot of this stuff is,
but you will, I would assume.
I hope,
At some
hopefully.
point.
I mean, it's
I don't
been
know.
well attended, and there's a lot of,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
I've
more
popped by there.
publicity this year and more interest. so
Yeah,
I'm
that's good.
foreseeing that a lot of people are gonna come.
I have a question. Excuse me. How much did it raise from last year to this year?
$2.
Just $2.
Yeah, $2. And I was looking at Fountain Square, and honestly, I did think it was 1 hour. So the 90 minutes might have escaped me. I thought we really were well below. our
I thought
regional-
we were too.
I thought we were.
Yeah, it's $10 for 90 minutes, 4 and under are free.
Got
Those
it.
other three places offer family passes as well.
And that I didn't dig that deep into it. I mean, the family pass price is great, $75.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a couple kids, and
And then 35 for the individual.
35 for the individual,
Very quickly.
so.
But I get if someone's coming.
Yeah, if they're coming on a single time and it's like they pay for 2 hours, and that's what happened in this particular case. And I thought, man, he went 2 nights in a row, and he paid single passes both times, $32 for.
Yeah, yeah, we're happy to, I
Chunk of
think,
change.
adjust the timeline a little bit, and I think we'll be good. We good with that?
So we're really not changing anything other than,
Really not.
Well, we'll just make sure, we're not changing what we're actually doing, we're just changing what we're printing, and we'll make sure that our
that
staff-
people are trained accordingly. Because I think there might have been a
There's a lot of new kids. Actually, all the
miscommunication.
new kids came for the.
I heard they're most all new skate.
I know the first shift, there was all new ice guards. Because the assistant manager was coming in for the second shift, so Dee put all the experienced guards with him.
Oh, I got
That was
you.
his first year.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was, could
That-
have been.
The feedback coming, if you're getting that kind of feedback, I really would love to hear it, so because we can be very responsive.
I got one feedback. Buy a whole bunch of socks, will you? I had to go over and buy a pack of socks from the dollar store for kids.
Okay, yeah.
Because
we
if they
have-
don't wear socks, and there's one kid was like barefooted. I said, you can't wear skates because you're going to bleed all over the skates.
There's blisters and everything.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Michelle, I have one last question. When you talk about extending that time frame, when you have a certain time of the year when probably the kids are out of school, is that going to create a problem there
Well, then,
with not moving the people, like Tony was stating earlier?
And I think that's why you had the 1 hour.
and then we were just letting them, it was giving us the flexibility to let the kids skate when it wasn't busy.
I mean,
So-
I was there, and there would be kids there for 2 hours. He said, okay, you're going to take a half-hour break,
Right.
you know. But when they get busy over there, when Perfect North Slopes gets going, I don't know why these people like to ski and then they like to come and skate. To me, that's like, I'd be freezing. But they love it.
Yeah, it's a
Worn
great
out.
pastime.
Ski, skate.
I think it could work, but if it's every hour on the hour, I think that works well if there's a line.
Yes,
And so it'd probably be good to have some clarity across the board that we're always doing the same thing. That way, kids, especially with training these young kids.
got it.
So, I mean, if
Good point.
if somebody goes for an hour and then they have to take a break and they want to do another hour
They should-
after
yeah,
that,
yeah,
they would have to get the tag again, the A or B tag, right?
Yep.
When they go on. So would it be better to say, hey, we're going to do that, instead of charging another $8, you could just do it for $4? Or bring this back and you can go another round for free or something, whatever it is in the evening. So just to make that price more.
There's one thing I can guarantee you, there's no kid, whether he's Lawrenceburg, Greendale, wherever, comes there to skate and is turned down from skating.
Right.
Dee will dig in her own purse and pay for it. That she always figures out something for everybody to skate.
Oh, you better hope not too many people are watching this.
Suddenly,
Charges you
all the
back.
Greendale residents say
Hey,
they can't afford
they're
it
all
now.
coming. Sorry, Dee, we don't have any money.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
But that's not sustainable either, though. I mean, it's just good to have clarity, this very clear picture.
Well, I
And
think we may have even cleared up a mistake that may have happened over the last weekend.
Well, I don't think it was though a mistake because it's still $8 per hour.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have gotten charged for 2 hours.
Okay.
If it wasn't busy.
Even if up front they said, "Hey, we want to skate for 2 hours,"
Yeah,
they
and
should have just.
I'll talk to Dee, because when you set these systems, I need to set it with the manager, because she's gotta train it, and they're like, we changed the price, we need new buttons in 90 minutes, so let me chat with her, and we will come up with something to make sure it's clear to everybody. But I don't think our intention was not to charge kids $16. So
Yep.
that was a mistake.
I was definitely gonna be a recommendation of mine to get with the manager before we even make them call them, get their feelings, because they run it, they know more about it than I do.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were charged $16 for 2 hours. I was there for most of the first 4 hours or so, just
Yeah.
helping out, but,
Well, I don't know why they would have made it up. I mean, that's just.
well, I don't say they made it
I
up.
don't-
Maybe one of the
yeah, I
new
think
kids.
it
one of the
it
new
probably
kids
did
told them
happen.
That
that.
was a mistake.
It probably
I
did
think the
happen.
mayor's right, it was a mistake. One of the new guards told them
Makes
that.
sense.
Well, I think we can do a little better training, which they're new, but
It's the
But
first
what
step.
if we do this, and can you speak with Dee, and then, if we change something, bring it back to the board? And if we keep things the same, that's fine, as long as we're doing the same thing every time.
Got it.
That makes it,
Right, correct.
Thanks,
And
guys.
if you're hearing comments and things, do pass them along, so
absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
Did you
Thank
wanna
you.
read them prices off so the public knew, or just leave it be? I mean, you don't have to.
no, you can't do the right now.
Yeah.
So,
I was just asking,
1 hour is $8, 13 plus $6, 12 and under Lawrenceburg residents skate for free with proof of residency. Season pass, $75, family of 4, and $35 for an individual. And if you have a family of 5 or 6, I think it costs $20 to add each additional kid onto your family's pass.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
thank you. Thanks,
Just
Jeff.
want to say one thing about the ice rink. Bumper cars next year.
Instead of the ice rink?
No, you got half of it goes bumper cars on certain days. Cincinnati does it. It's neat.
I'm gonna get you bumper cars in here.
He's living in a fantasy.
All I got to say to
I will
that-
say this.
They can pay for
Go
themselves
ahead.
in 1 year.
All I got to say to that is I better get a Ferris wheel before you get bumper cars.
I will say this,
knew
we had
that
some,
was
I had some folks in my office last week from Cincinnati that work with 3CDC, and they're killing it with the bumper
I was
cars.
going to say, they pay for themselves in 1 year.
Yeah, well,
Uh-oh, here she comes.
can they pay for the,
I have bids
Rink.
for the bumper cars.
I'm sorry?
I already have a bid for the bumper cars.
Oh, great for you. Sit down, Michelle, will you?
Way to go, Michelle.
Good.
When the river freezes.
All right, thanks, Justin, for bringing it up, but keep, things like this, guys, I mean, we at least get some clarification out of it and
Yes.
stuff, so, all right. Next item is the pool liner and gutter rehab.
Can we get a motion to table this
I thought we did.
when
Okay.
Justin kind of brought
On
something?
the
I
Arch
thought- I
Street
thought
Park?
what Justin brought out had to
Arch
do
Street
with
Park?
Arch Street Park, and
Okay.
all of a sudden it was sidetracked.
Yes, it
So
was.
can I get a motion
You know,
to
he's
table?
getting he just get like Dell, isn't he?
Yeah, you are. Can I get a motion to table the Arch Street Park turf question?
I'll move, Your Honor.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I believe I want to get a motion to table the pool liner and gutter rehab too until Mr. Todd gets back.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I don't have any other new under Parks meeting, any other new business. Anyone else? Nor do I have any old business. Okay, I would now look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Boy.
All right, I'd like to call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Common Council meeting for November the 15th, 2021. If we could all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okey doke. Mr. Fetty, roll call, please.
Councilperson Tony Abbott.
Here.
Councilperson Justin Noppert.
Yes, sir.
Councilperson Tommy Rolette.
Present.
Councilperson Lenny Fryman.
Present?
Councilperson Brett Bondurant.
Yes, sir.
City Attorney Dale Weldon. Mayor Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, announcements, board reports, streets, alleys, and curbs, downtown area, Mr. Abbott.
I've only got one thing.
Yes.
The alley between Arch Street and Elm Street, behind A.J. Waltz's house.
Okay,
When that home was built, they connected the sewer in the alley, okay, dug it up. A few years ago, there was a big old, well, right after the pavement, the alley started caving in. I call it a swirl because a big hole forms there. I think last year we filled it up. All they did is put asphalt on it. Well, now it's sinking down again. So apparently that sewer connection in there, there must be something wrong with it. I think we ought to go back to the builder, because I think the builder hooks it up to the main sewer, don't they? Because it's just a constant problem. Now we got a big hole again.
Well, you don't think it was anything to do with compaction? You actually think there's a leak in
There's a leak.
on the
Yep.
So the builder runs it to the sewer main.
Main,
Then
correct.
the sewer guys do the tap, and they have the harness that goes on the tap, and they actually will,
So you think it would be the city's responsibility?
if the tap is, the city's always there to put the tap in. They're gonna drill through it and put the sleeve on.
tap it.
So, and if that's the case, they would have seen if there was something that was faulty in the ground before they would have allowed that to be tapped onto there.
Well, we need to fill that. I mean, dig it up and find out what's wrong, why does it keep sinking in there?
You probably scope it before you dig it. We'll just put
Run
a
a camera
on
through it.
We can
Yeah.
camera it. We do
Because
that.
now we got another pothole there.
I will make Mr. Kennett aware of it and have him, have his guys take a look at it first and, see if it's our responsibility or not. If it's
Okay.
their responsibility or not. Yeah, we'll do that. It's the alley behind, Mr.
Right behind A.J. Waltz's house.
Got it.
Is it where
You'll
put
see it.
Mom's place there or whatever it was on the
No,
alley?
no, it's behind A.J.'s house.
Oh, right behind his. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the only thing I have.
Okay.
What about you? Got another alley that's something's going on tomorrow.
I'll
Oh,
bring,
yeah, we have our
Okay. Yeah.
dedication. I was waiting for the mayor to announce that.
Okay. We'll let the mayor announce it.
I got it on my list of things. I got it on my Christmas list.
Oh.
All right, streets, alleys, and curbs up on the hill, Mr. Fryman.
All good, sir.
It's about time. Finance, Mr. Bondurant.
No report, Mayor.
And Parks and Playgrounds, Mr. Noppert.
Nothing else, sir.
And Fire Department, Mr. Roulette.
No report, Mayor.
Okay. I will bring up, tomorrow morning at 10:30, we are dedicating the alley in between Elm and Short, across from, and we're going to meet right there at on Tate Street, near the school parking lot, and dedicate the Brady Gabbard Alley. If you can make it, great. The family will be there as well. And hopefully the weather's going to cooperate. So I want to thank Mario and our Civil City folks for getting that all put together and ready for tomorrow. So 10:30 is the place to be. I want to make sure you all are take a look at all the Winter Wonderland activities. Everything's starting up. I was down here last Saturday. We had merchant open houses and, well, the ice rink opened up that day, but had a great number of people walking around downtown. I stopped in a lot of our businesses and they were doing really well. In fact, I seen on Facebook one of our newest businesses had a record day. So that was encouraging as well. Yeah, so that I encourage you to do that. We did just get awarded the Community Crossings, an award of about $806,000, I believe. That's going to handle all of Phase 2 on Ludlow Hill on State Route 48. Plus, I believe we're going to be paving it from top to bottom with that.
Wow,
So,
that's awesome.
Good.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I said, that's.
Yes, it is. that'll be,
That's the Bilby Road, correct?
yes,
Yes.
I call it Old
Right.
Bilby.
Just for clarification, yeah. I
Absolutely.
don't think that we're taking over the state's road.
No, we didn't want to take over Old Bilby, but they gave
We
us
did.
an ultimatum, so.
And moving on.
Yes, okay. During negotiations, we needed to post an internal clerical A job over at the fire department, okay? We didn't do that, so I'm just making you aware, we're gonna post that job. It's an internal, there's somebody already there,
Say it's already there.
but I just wanna make you guys aware that we are posting that internally. So if you hear of anything, we're not hiring a new person or anything like that. It's an internal posting. And then, I got riverfront contracts back. I have both of them back tomorrow morning for the dry side, wet side and the dry side for the next phase, which is what you guys have asked for as far as the options and those kinds of things. I'll have those. I will get you all a copy of it. What I would like to do then is schedule a meeting for maybe Monday morning, if possible, to approve those or not approve those, so we can turn these people loose, get the
Right.
ball rolling, if you're okay with it. So I will get you copies as soon as I get them. I will have Guinevere get a hold of you. We'll send them out electronically to those of you that want it electronically, and those of you that want it hard copy, you'll have to come over and read one copy. We're only printing one copy off. No, but we'll get that out, so that we'll get moving on that. So I'd like to, I'm gonna, tomorrow, after I have those in hand, I'm gonna have that meeting scheduled for, let's say, 10 o'clock Monday morning.
Okay.
And if you'll have plenty of time to review, and if you got questions, we can get those answered before then or whatever. So, okay, that's all the announcements that I have. If no other announcements, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, the new business, this is Mr. Lang, I believe it's a levy storage easement.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hopefully you've been provided with a PDF of what we're looking to try to do. This piece of property is immediately adjacent to the LCD property. If you've seen the sign, I think Noah Herring has the listing. It's that piece of property currently owned by McCab Corp. That piece of property has been slated to be probably a half a dozen different things in the last 5 or 6 years. I personally have worked on a couple different versions of what that could turn out to be. None of those things ever really sprouted wings and turned into anything until now. So what this is at least supposed to turn into, and the track we're on right now, is conditioned storage or climate-controlled storage. That building will be approximately 40,000 square feet. It is not shown on the drawing that we've given you. I'm just giving you a little background of where this is going. This piece of property, by virtue of where it is somewhat landlocked. It does have an easement that the city of Lawrenceburg had already granted for ingress and egress to it. It was done about 10 years ago, I think. I have that shown on there. From the standpoint of utilities, in order to make that site work, you need to get access from the adjacent owners in order to bring utilities onto the site to make it viable. There is gas on the US 50 right-of-way. We can get that directly to the site through the US 50 right-of-way. Power and sanitary sewer are immediately adjacent to our site, but on the LCD property. I've had meetings with LCD. They're in the process of getting that granted and figuring out what we need to do for them. There's a power pole with some pretty significant power just on it's just back behind LCD's main building. And then as you turn the corner on that little asphalt drive, come past the horse path or horse pasture, there's a sanitary sewer right there. We'll be tying into that across LCD property. So now that I've got those guys moving forward, I got with John Johnson. I've worked through some things with him. What you see, if you've been given a copy of this, is we need 2 additional easements, one for storm sewer and one for water. The water will be used to extend a main to get a fire hydrant within distance of this proposed building, that fire suppression can be done properly and not have hundreds and hundreds of feet of hose out if they would ever need to suppress that building. And the storm sewer is needed because if you're familiar with that area, it's incredibly flat. By topography, it really doesn't drain anywhere. You have to kind of force it. There is a low area where there is a fair amount of piping coming in over by where that large French drain and pump apparatus all occurs, and that's the direction that that storm needs to go. As I said before, we've kind of tried to make this piece of property a half a dozen different things over the last 10 years. So we've kind of designed this about 6 or 7 times, and it's all done the same thing from the standpoint of where we needed water, where we needed sewer, where we needed power, and where the storm had to go. So it's the same effort, it's just this is a slightly different project. But what we know that we need to make this site buildable has essentially been the same thing every time we've tried to develop it.
So is the, correct me if I'm wrong, Eric, so the developer is gonna be paying for any of the improvements, for the infrastructure as far as the
Correct.
water main and all that?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in there.
So the water's coming from the west side, the Conservancy side, the 15-inch water main that would be coming under.
No, there's a
Yeah.
water main just
No,
on the
it
other
doesn't.
side of the asphalt drive there.
Yeah.
And it comes across, there is a valve that occurs just on the, forgive me, north is a little screwy here, just on the south side of that asphalt drive where it makes that 90-degree bend.
Okay.
There's a valve just on that side of the pavement, and we'll pick up that, I believe it's an
Okay.
8-inch main, but we'll pick that up there, depending on what John and Mario decide to do. It's probably not an area you're gonna expand your water service, so it will probably just be a 6-inch line coming across to serve a hydrant.
That's a question I have, because on this, you have a 15-inch water main.
15-foot water, 15-foot water main.
Oh, 15 foot, okay.
That's the
That's
width of
the
the
easement.
easement. So that
Yep,
you can
I got you.
follow the main.
Okay, just, that's,
Gotcha.
thank you for clarifying that.
Sure.
So it is a, did you say again, it will be a 6-inch?
Unless someone tells me they would force us to make it an 8, it only really makes sense if you're doing a private main extension for just a hydrant for fire suppression, the 6-inch would be.
And then the storm sewer, as you stated, it will tie into that lift station that's close, or it's actually in the fairgrounds area, and then it will go to the main.
Well, it's gonna tie in by gravity. If you look at kind of top center of the page, you can see a couple of concrete head walls there where there's a kind of a low spot where that picks up all that water, and that's where we're going with that, is to
Okay.
put that in that same collection area.
Got it.
I don't really have anything to add. If anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to explain or elaborate.
I don't see the sanitary sewer on this drawing yet. I'm still looking.
It's actually Greendale's, if I'm correct,
If you
right?
look down here on this corner, you can see sanitary manhole. There's a small little postage
Yep,
stamp
right here.
box.
There.
Down here.
And then up at the top where it says keynote legend, the number 2 says proposed easement from Lawrenceburg Conservancy
Right there.
District.
All right, too small print for me.
Yeah, it's not a very big easement. It doesn't really stick out.
Trust me, it took me a while to figure out where we were actually looking at until I seen the McCab Corps, and I'm like, I'm with it now. Because it just said levy storage easement, and I'm like, okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have none.
No.
I'll entertain a motion then to approve the levy storage easement, correct?
For storm sewer and, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you, and I spoke to Eric, before the meeting today, and appreciate that, Eric, so what we're doing here, and this has already been, the plat has been approved by the Plan Commission already, so the general design has been approved. The next step would be to authorize me to have these easements appraised to determine the value that entity would pay. So McCapcore is selling this to a developer who will, as Mr. Lang stated, install climate-controlled units. McCapcore has two City of Lawrenceburg employees as part of their membership, Mike Abden and Greg McAdams, one LCD board member, Al Abden. So, you know, my first job was to make sure that there's no conflict of interest or anything that would be untoward for the City of Lawrenceburg to approve these easements. There's not, because they're not obtaining a value and they're not obtaining this easement by virtue of their employment with the City of Lawrenceburg. And also, they'll be paying the average of two appraisals fair market value as compensation. Of course, that it could be paid by the buyer or the seller. We don't know. You know, that's not really. We don't get into that in that depth. But this easement benefits the buyer, not the seller, who has the city employee. So that was my first job, to figure that question out. Second is to figure out what's the process. So the vote tonight would just be to authorize me to get the appraisals, bring that back, and then for whatever the appraised value, that would be paid in exchange for the easements. And then as part of that analysis, also, are these private easements, or these dedicated easements, or these easements that could be used by our utility company to benefit the public at all? They're not. They're just purely private. They're actually hooking the storm sewer is just empties out on its own. As Eric said, you know, it would be gravity engineered, but they just can't do it there. And then the water, the drinking water, and then the commercial fire suppression water, that's going to connect on their side of the private. So it's purely private. Purely private means that they should pay the average two appraisals. That would be the next step for us. I'll bring you back those values, and they'll pay that amount.
Okay.
LCD was making a similar maneuver with regards to assigning a dollar value to a square foot.
Okay.
I don't know if that work equates to a similar dollar amount for you, but if you find that helpful to not have to reinvent that same wheel on your own, you may.
Well, I think-
I can work to get you in touch with whoever they're doing that work with, and maybe that dollar per square foot works out the same, because it's essentially the same appraisal. I don't know. I'm just offering because they're having to do that same
Okay.
effort.
I think we'd be more comfortable doing our own. I know it seems like extra work, but
Totally
like
fine.
Some municipalities just do a de minimis value, like $100 per square foot or whatever. But because, you know, it's the public land, I think it's better if we just do our own appraisals, if that's the pleasure of the council.
Okay. Well, then the motion that I will present is to give city attorney the availability and the approval to go out for appraisals of the easements in question
So moved.
and bring it back to council.
I'll move.
So move, second.
Second.
Brett, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see something being built over there. I wish it was a gym or something. But anyway,
Here.
all right. The next things are mine, guys. Mine guys or Ryan guys? Anyway, city administration vehicle. I talked to you about that in a previous meeting. We had spoken about it. Went out and got a couple of appraisals. Got a bid. For a Ford Explorer and then a Chevy Traverse. I know it's apples to oranges, I understand that. We were mainly looking, we're looking to replace the Flex. So this vehicle is used for city travel, upwards of 6 people traveling at a time. And what you have in your packet, I believe, are 2 bids. our recommendation, what I'm proposing is that we go with the lower bid, which is the Chevy Traverse. I believe that bid is 34,000 and some,
900.
right? I didn't want to misspeak. Yeah, 39, or no, that's the,
$37,016.25 is what I'm coming up with.
that's what I had. Yeah, $37,016. So any questions regarding this, guys? These are the state bids.
This does have a third row, I imagine, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was looking
Yes,
for
it
it. I
does.
didn't see it.
I think,
It'll have two front seats, 2 bucket seats, and a bench seat.
yeah. That's what I read.
Yeah. Actually, I think it's considered maybe 7 passenger.
You're probably familiar with this, you have one, don't you?
Oh, okay. If no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the purchase of the city administration vehicle being a Chevy Traverse in the amount $37,016.25.
And that was from Kelsey Chevrolet,
That's from
correct?
Kelsey Chevrolet, yes, sir.
So moved, Mayor.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item I have is, we need a member appointed to the, Board of Zoning. It cannot be a council member, but it is a council appointment. I will ask for names if you have names right now, and then, we can get a hold of those folks and see if they're interested, and then bring back that name for you for approval.
I spoke with a man by the name of Rudy Ramey.
Rudy Ramey?
Lives over on Fox Drive. He's wanting to get into helping the city. He's a very smart man, very sensible. I think he'd make a very good candidate for it.
Rudy Ramey, all right. Any other names? I will contact Mr. Ramey and talk to him, and then, next meeting, I will bring it back to you all for, based upon the conversation, for approval or not, because it's your appointment. So, okay.
And that member, just can't hold any elected office in the state of Indiana, I don't know.
No,
Okay.
he doesn't.
We'll get a hold of him. Thank you.
Mhm.
Name, all right. The last thing is, as you know, for months, the city of Lawrenceburg has been doing did somebody else have a name?
No, there wasn't another name.
Sorry.
We need to talk about another appointment. It's to kind of re-up with some other, the endowment. We'll have to,
Oh, for school endowment.
yeah. So
But-
that'll come up first of the
Is
year
that
as
the
well.
the council's appointment or the mayor's appointment?
There's, I think both, and I don't know if yours, the mayor's appointment and the council appointment.
Nobody's contacted me about that one.
Okay, we've talked about it in the meeting. That's why I was just bringing it up. So
Oh, okay, okay. So it will be coming up?
it should be coming up, yes.
Okay, thank
So.
you. Okay, the other thing I have, the last thing I have is, for months, we've been working on the City of Lawrenceburg Comprehensive Plan, which was about 10 years old, I believe. Some of you were included in that. There was a lot of opportunity for the public to chime in through surveys and things like that, that HWC was the firm that we had leading this effort for us. It is completed. I think it's completed with some real items that can be done throughout the city of Lawrenceburg. I'm not just talking about downtown, I'm talking about up on the hill as well. And, we all have been part of, and we've all seen studies done in the city of Lawrenceburg and other places we've been. The study's only as good as what you do with it. If it just sits on a shelf, why'd you do the study, right? I really feel really good about this because you guys had decided to actually go forward with a project, which is the Riverfront Development Project, which became like a #1 item for the community in this survey. So you guys are, what that tells me is you guys are pretty in touch with what people are looking for in the community. Tonight, all we're doing is an introduction to this. There will be a hearing and adoption in the December meeting. We will advertise that. If people want a copy of it, we can get copies of it. But just you know, it's not been approved or anything by this board. But I really feel good about the outcome of that plan. And I know Tommy and Justin were both on it. Michelle,
Mark?
part. Mark was a part. Dell was in there. I obviously was, but I'll let you guys say, if you guys have anything to say about it. I don't want to be the only one talking about it, but I just feel good about the end product.
What I'd like to say more than anything is I greatly appreciate everybody's input. I mean, it took some time to do that, and again, I'll reiterate what you said. I think the vision is pretty good from what I see from everybody and what is actually written here.
Yeah.
But again, I appreciate everybody that was part of this, their input as well.
I think they did a very thorough job. I mean, at the end, I did have concerns that, we were going to get kind of so big that we weren't going to be able to attain any of the things that we
Yep.
kind of, that we were envisioning, because they're saying, hey, we're looking at 10 to 20 years down the road. And, right away, like the mayor said, I don't know how many studies in the past 2 decades we've had that I've identified the riverfront as a underutilized resource that we have here. We're kind of down in this New Orleans bowl, and we have this beautiful asset on the other side of the levee. So I think that's going to be that will be a critical issue. And there's other ones such as the US 50 corridor we've talked about,
Housing.
the housing, the owner occupied housing, and incentivizing that, that we're looking at up on the hill is, I think I was more convinced through this study of the need that we have we need population growth. We've been kind of stagnant at our 1.7% over the past decade, and I think that's going to be one of the things that we're able to attract and keep talent as we grow in the city, and as we do some of these redevelopment projects to attract good, strong minds, young and old. But we need to be able to provide some housing for them, and at the same time, we want to provide owner-occupied housing for the starter family demographic as well. We have guys are probably tired of hearing me talking about our $30,000 median household income, but that's a reality for the city of Lawrenceburg. And so, but we want to be able to make home ownership, that dream a possibility for even families that aren't upper middle class. So I think there's some opportunities that I identified through this study. I'd encourage everyone to, if you can get a hold of a copy or look at it. Is it on our website
I don't
yet?
believe it's been downloaded yet online, but we will make it available.
I mean, it's dozens of pages long, but it's
Yes, it
good.
is.
It's thorough. There are some attainable things that we can move toward, and we're gonna press in and lean into those.
Well, we got to do what we say we're going to do. That's the main topic behind it. So, okay, good conversation. I don't need anything done about that tonight. Under old business, and I can speak to this one, the LCC flooring. The last meeting we had, I mentioned to you that there was a separation between the company that we bought the flooring from and their contractor to install the flooring. We are contracting the installer ourselves, the same installer. But the topic was, does the warranty still stand? And actually, Brittany had brought it back to Mark and I like right away after the meeting. And on the invoice, it states it specifically that the manufacturer's warranty will be intact. So we were glad to hear about that. So that was the follow-up on this particular item. So,
Just for the record, Mayor, since we did kind of separate these out
Yeah.
between Craven Floorings and Home Furniture, can I get a motion?
Yeah.
Separate motion for each one?
yeah, to approve the,
Yeah, the Craven and the Home Furniture, since I separated it out.
so I think, yeah, good point. Probably should have remembered that. Home Furniture is who we're buying the materials from. So we got a separate invoice from that, which you guys have seen. And then the Craven Flooring now is the installer of record, and that's the contract we have with them, which the amount of the labor did not change. We made you aware of it. There's a couple $100 more on the materials because of when they shipped in and stuff. So I think what you're asking for then, Mark, I'll ask for two motions. One motion is to continue and with the invoice that was furnished by Home Furniture for materials for the flooring for the Lawrenceburg Community Center, as written, correct?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve that invoice?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then I would entertain a motion to retain Craven Flooring as the installer of record to be employed for this job by the city of Lawrenceburg.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks.
And if you haven't been down, the front desk is in place. Painting is going to start, I believe, this week. And that'll be the last piece of the indoor stuff. Carpeting is currently going on. I think Mr. Richardson will have a couple things to bring before you in December. So I told him his spending spree will be over and for the year.
Seriously.
But
But he knows he gets more money next year.
well,
Yes.
but it's very budgeted. So, and we've done the right things trying to get that place spruced up. So anyway, that's all I got under any old business. Anybody have anything before we go to comments?
I actually had a couple people reach out about is it AARP, is that what
Yeah.
we're calling it?
Yep.
Relief plan or rescue plan?
Yeah, it's American Rescue Plan. I got to announce that last Friday on the radio. Is
Yep.
that what you're talking about?
I think that's what sprouted a couple questions that
Yeah.
I had directed towards me. They're pretty simple as far as it will be November's bill due paid in December. Is that correct?
This is the simplest way to explain it, and we try to do this in all of our social media as well. When you get December's bill, it will be a zero balance. That excludes anything you owed in arrears.
Right.
But your December bill will be zero.
Great.
So that's, and we did it that way. Yeah, that's November's utilities, but we did it that way thinking it would be a help to people with Christmas.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad it came out that
But
way.
that's the simplest explanation. I
And
can give you.
also no application necessary.
No application necessary for utilities. If you are a current LMU customer, water, electric, and sewer, and that even includes the people that are beyond the city limits that are LMU customers, that they will be included, just like the last time we did this. Absolutely. Good thing.
Great. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up.
The only application is for the small business grant. By the way, we've got, I got about 12 of them today that we approved, and one we did not approve because it was from California. True story. They went out online and filled it out, thinking we were going to send them a check, I guess. We've done that before, previous administration.
Okay, yeah.
We don't do that.
Not me.
Not Mark Fetty doesn't do that.
Not me.
But anyway, yeah, thanks for that, Brad, because there were people who called me about it too, and maybe we weren't explicit enough, but we tried to explain it the best we could. So it's the right thing to do, and I applaud you guys for approving that. I really do. So I know the people appreciate it. So Comments from the audience? Yes, ma'am. That's right.
Please.
I do have a question about the American Rescue Plan.
Mm-hmm.
So even the people who currently had a credit balance, will they get an additional credit for the amount that their bill would have been?
That I can't answer. I don't want to tell you wrong. I don't know. I don't know how that works with LMU.
Okay,
You shouldn't have a credit, I guess.
I always have a credit.
I know. But what I'm saying, I would assume that whatever that amount would have been for December, whatever, there's an amount to that, right? That would have been part of your
The
credit.
amount I would have paid,
Yes.
which because I pay what I use each month, but I keep a $200 balance in,
Well, your $200 balance will stay there.
okay.
And if it doesn't, let me know
Yes,
and we'll
Christine, you could-
get that taken care of.
Christina could-
You're entitled to the zero
Okay.
cost for your
I
utility
think there
bill.
was an issue with it last time. That's
Okay.
what it is. Okay, the other thing I just wanted to mention is that I wanted to thank City Council for allowing the city workers to set up all the tables and chairs at Agner Hall for the Tri-Kappa Bingo. That was much appreciated.
Not a problem.
And we had our biggest profit of any bingo.
Really?
Awesome.
We were sold out in just a couple of days, and
Wow.
we're just anxious to get out.
Tell them how many tickets you sold.
We sold 230.
That's a lot of bingo.
That was
We
one.
had
That
a
was
waiting list.
that was my
We
mom.
have-
One of my mom's favorite things to go to every year. She always bought her tickets from you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
It
Yes.
Or we
worked
thank
out
you.
Very
very
much.
well.
Council, they can
Thank
thank you.
you. Thank you so much.
You bet. Anyone else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to pay the claims, Lenny.
As long as you're paying for it, we're good to go.
Hey, is that a motion?
I'll make a motion, yes, sir.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Bumper cars.
Motion carries. Hey, don't forget about the alley dedication tomorrow morning, 10:30.
I know, I did nothing.
You bringing the donuts, Tony?
I scheduled service call down the road tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, lad. You know what?